Hello Aries, and welcome to your May 2019 love reading. I'm Jade with Yes Yes Yes. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm going to do a bunch of love readings this month because it's my birthday month and I want to. So this is the first one. I'm going to read with a bunch of different decks, and I'm going to start with the Mike Dooley deck, which is the Notes from the Universe on Love. I love this deck. It's just so sweet. How's it going, Aries? I hope you had a great birthday season. I hope you don't feel left out now that you have to wait a whole nother year. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, Aries. And let's see, what does Mike Dooley have to say? La, 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 la. Let's go here. Ooh, I like this. Enjoy your extraordinary uniqueness. Yes, do so. I cannot tell you. Oh my gosh. So the Aries, I love Aries men. I've had many Aries men as partners. I love you all because of this extraordinary uniqueness. Oh my gosh. So there's, let me just say it. There is something really fascinating when you meet somebody who sees life in a totally different way, lives life in a totally different way, and then inspires you to do the same, to look for and find your own extraordinary uniqueness. That is you, Aries, and for the Aries men in my life. So thank you for that. See, I love that deck. All right, so now we're moving on to Gabby Bernstein's deck. And let me know, of course, in the box below, in the comments section, how you are resonating with all of this. As we get deeper into the reading, if you're interested in a personal reading, my website is yesYesYes.com, and you can just go right there. That link is in the box below as well, and you can schedule a reading. Also, hit that thumbs up button. It helps the channel out so much. Gabby Bernstein says, I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. Look at that. It's a little owl. I like that this is also a black and white card. Very clear, very thoughtful. I don't know if any of you maybe have an owl as an animal totem. I do whatever it takes to get closer to consciousness. We are all moving towards consciousness. There are so many people tuning in for tarot readings. There are so many people who are interested in what's going on in astrology, and the esoteric teachings, because we're all striving for consciousness. So I think the Aries here, oh my gosh, I had a jumper. The Aries here, who are here, are ahead of the game. You are leading us in a consciousness revolution, and you are willing to sacrifice even. Maybe some of you have sacrificed relationship in order to gain consciousness. You've just been working on yourself, working on your spirituality in order to gain consciousness, and have sacrificed connecting with another. So we'll see. Ooh, release your ex. This one jumped out. So if there has been someone in the Aries life that might be holding you back, maybe you still left energy with them. Let's see, it's time to clear your energy. Exactly. So maybe their energy is still stuck within you. Maybe your energy is still connected to them. If you want to do a cord cutting exercise, that's something I would suggest looking up. Maybe one day I'll film something about doing it, because sometimes I talk about a cord cutting ceremony, cord cutting exercise. The other thing for women specifically is you can do a womb clearing, because that energy, because we are the receptive partner, that energy and the energy of many of the exes can still be stuck in the womb. And specifically, if you are thinking about your ex, you're keeping the whole thing alive. So it's not releasing what once was, it's just keeping the energy flowing, and it sometimes can be detrimental to your progress. So just keep that in mind. There might just be little bits left over. You might have thought, oh my gosh, I got through that. I did, I know I did. But really what the card is here saying is that that's just the last bit. It's just the last remnant. I'm gonna pull out the masculine and feminine from the Lenormand deck now. We're just gonna see where where the energies are between the two, what the storyline is that we're going to go with. There's our masculine. Then we have the cross, the snake, and the heart, oof, and the stork. The bear, the letter, the moon, and the anchor. The mountain, the birds, the mice, the star, and the scythe. The sun, the bouquet, the ship, the ring, the fox. We got all the cards out. All right, Aries, the fox. There's the fish, the tree, and there's the feminine. All right, almost all the cards. So what I'm going to do is give an idea of what's going on in the masculine's life, what's going on in the feminine's life, and then how do they meet together. So masculine, you've got some challenges. You're feeling burdened probably by home by your home situation, or maybe you have some religious weight that you carry. But I'm feeling like there was specifically a burden that had to do with perhaps in the past you were cheated on, there was a heartbreak, there was a deception in love, okay? And it was something that, you know, this is what you're dealing with right now. What else? You also have some need to anchor your emotions, which that means just feeling into it and then letting it, like anchoring it down to something other than you, okay? So it's recognizing what you're feeling, which is there was some deception in a love relationship in the past that's got you weighed down. That's the truth of the situation. Now what do? You surrender that issue, you surrender that energy to something or someone else. There's also ceremonies you can do in order to clear yourself from that. But otherwise, there's just going to be this heavy weight that the masculine is stuck with, trying to release that X, okay? Now for the feminine here, it's a little lighter. I like this. So the feminine, it's probably feeling pretty good. This might be a new health routine or in family as well, but there could be just an abundance of good health for you, or feeling really good in your body. You might have had, I say it's a new health routine because that fox is here. So there just might be a new way that you're looking at your body, but feeling really good, and you're committed to this. So I think that the feminine is committed. Maybe this is the consciousness that the feminine is committed to, and it could be physical consciousness, but just feeling really good, maybe about your long-term legacy, your connection to the world, what you're leaving behind, what you're choosing to create and leave behind. But there's a lot of success and a lot of even travel. That's a possibility, but it just could be expansion, mind expansion here for the feminine. So feminine Aries, you're doing great right now. The masculine right now is just the suffering from releasing this X. And this sounds like, what it looks like is that it was a tough situation, that it would have been, like somebody being cheated on, someone being lied to, it could have blown up, something really painful. So for the masculine who I'm speaking to, I'll send you some extra energy right now. But this has to get grounded and thrown out, thrown away, anchored in, give me the card. You have to anchor this energy in something other than you, okay? Something other than your personal body. Otherwise, it's going to start creating issues. And that's when we get health issues. That's when, we don't sleep so well, that type of thing, okay? So try to face it and then release it. That's what's going on. Now, for the meeting place, we have some challenges here in this meeting place. So if it's happening this month, this is what's going on. It's going to be in a place where you're talking about how challenging you have had your life, how things have been unfolding. This middle card is the card of mice, is the card of anxiety, it's nervousness, and it's also little bits kind of eating away at us. So I'm feeling like the masculine is not quite in his power, and if the feminine and masculine meet, it's going to be in a place where the masculine is admitting to this this nervousness, this anxiety. It could be, you know, you meet at an AA meeting, something, you know, something like that. It could mean that you're meeting at a spiritual center where the masculine is healing and the feminine is in a good place. And do keep in mind right now we're showing that the feminine would be coaching the masculine because the feminine's in a more solid place. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to misuse a power situation, okay? But right now, what's binding you, binding you together, what's bringing you together is this openness about the anxiety, the nervousness, the way in which life has kind of been eating away, ticking at you, kind of picking on you. That's the energy, that you've just been picked on. And this is definitely the masculine's energy. For the feminine, this might be reminding you of past energy. So also be aware of that. You don't want to repeat anything. We definitely don't want to repeat this energy. So just keep that in mind, that the feminine, if the masculine's coming at you with this energy, the feminine, you might have to be strong. You might have to heal, send healing light, and support from a distance before you move forward together, okay? Now, just go back, even though we're talking about hard stuff, I just want to remind you of your extraordinary uniqueness, okay? So no matter what, if this is what brings you together, this nervousness, this anxiety that brings you together, that is the most extraordinarily unique way of coming together I have ever heard of, okay? So I will let you, Aries, decide what works best for you. Let me know in the comments section if I am making any sense to you, because of course, we're not talking about every Aries relationship. We're looking for things that resonate and then leaving the stuff that doesn't, leaving that behind, okay? So I'm going to pull out a spread now with the Line Strider deck. Everything's been pre-shuffled, and I want to see what is going on between the two here. So I'm going to lay out all the cards, and then we'll talk about it. I'll tell you what they all are, so no worries. It's coming. Okay. All right. So, interesting. We've got the Two of Wands here that came up in the reverse. So what this card here is that this is the underlying energy for you both. This is your twin energy, okay? So the Two of Wands in the reverse means that something hasn't quite gotten built. And from the feminine perspective, it's because she's been working on her spiritual side. It's because she's been really focused more on herself, on her career, on her physical nature, of feeling good, of legacy, that type of thing. For the masculine, it's healing that broken heart. It's releasing the ex. So something hasn't gotten going because you're just healing, working on other things. Love, yes, you want love, but have you been really calling it in? Have you stepped up your energy to be the person that you want to match with? I hope that makes sense. You have to be at the same level of the person that you want to match with. And if you're going through pain and suffering, if you're building yourself up spiritually, you're closer. But I think that's ultimately the goal, is that we want to get to that level where we are the person that we're wanting to bring in. We're matching that. Let's talk about the masculine here. We start with this Empress card in the reverse. This is Divine Feminine, but it's in the reverse. So I'm feeling like this is that broken heart. It could be a Libra or a Taurus that we're discussing here. It could also have been a situation where it was a mother, you know, like it could have been where there were children involved. So this is something that there was some disappointment. It just, you know, it didn't come to fruition the way in which you had wanted. There was no collaboration even. Three of Pentacles in the reverse. So there might have been, if there was a child, there was one child is what I'm seeing. It's also possible that there were three, but you know, I'm seeing more about it being the Three of Pentacles being all three of you. So this relationship, there was some type of deceit that happened. We saw that in the other deck. Now, it could have been because that other person, not the masculine, but the other person involved, was really more trying to heal herself, be more concerned with what is going on for her and her needs. And I say that because that Five of Cups, there's lots of emotion here. And the inability to build anything together that's stable with that Pentacles card. There's no stability. The Ten of Swords energy here, that's that overly dramatic pain. It's the end all be all of pain. The masculine is still feeling this. It's in the reverse. Now, you want those swords to fall out, okay? We want to end the ending of pain. We want it to end, but it's still lingering. Even though it's in the reverse, it's still lingering. So keep in mind, masculines, you really need to you really need to release this Queen of Swords, or Queen of Cups energy. Queen of Cups, Empress, similar energies here. We're talking about a nurturing, compassionate, very highly evolved feminine. So what I feel is that this masculine got into a story where he really loved this feminine in the past. There was somebody he thought was a queen, he thought was an empress, and she wasn't, or she needed to do something for herself. She needed to take care of herself, and he wasn't able to do so. But there was definitely some issue in the past with this other feminine, because both of these feminine cards are showing up in the reverse. The other thing is that this feminine could have been cheating on this masculine with another feminine. That's a stretch because I'm really reading for the masculine here, but I'm just showing that there are lots of energies out here on the table. So, and that would, I mean, any type of infidelity is painful. That Ten of Swords energy is here. So the masculine's really stuck in this, really stuck, reflecting and not moving on. Okay, I think we're just in super reflection mode. And remember, let's go back to what the advice is to see it for what it is and then anchor it outside of yourself. And what that means is you've been hurt, somebody cheated on you, somebody treated you crap, like crap, whatever your truth is, accept it for what it was. Okay, it turned into something that you didn't want. Okay, you don't need to continue to suffer. The suffering is because you're attached to what you wanted to happen and that it didn't. So you have to release the story that you had created behind it, that she was going to be the one for forever. Whatever the story is, release it, let it go, and try to find the beauty in the experience. And that's going to be difficult. It's, you're in process, but you will get there. Let's head over to the masculine. We have this Two of Pentacles energy. This is the Dancer card. I like that this is in the upright. There's been some choices. There was probably lots of things that the feminine's been balancing. Could be talking about work, could be talking about money, but I'm feeling like the feminine's been really more concerned about creating her life in a better way, more so than the relationship. And she's been doing a great job of balancing, of juggling and keeping things going. We do have the Six of Cups energy. So in this being in the upright, it could mean that there was somebody from the past who had tried to come back in. It could also just mean that the feminine is reflecting on a past love relationship. Just doing a check-in, feeling that nostalgia, maybe wanting that relationship to come back. But I think that that's the only thing that's going to trip you up here, feminine, is that if you're really looking into that relationship from the past, we really need to release it, even though you're looking at it fondly. Here's your power, feminines. This Queen of Wands. She is full of her integrity. She is moving. She moves mountains on her own. She doesn't need any masculine, and she's the perfect balance of the action of the wands and the compassion of the feminine. So she's able to create the world in which she wants to live in. This is that getting closer to your consciousness, right? We talked about that. And you can do this in that extraordinarily unique way, absolutely. But you are in a place, feminine, of creating your world. Remember, we talked about, you're building up your legacy, you're going into your spiritual manifestation mode, all of these things. So it's okay for you to reflect on the past as long as it's not keeping you out of this power. Now here's the only, these are the rubs that I'm seeing. This High Priestess came out in the reverse. So this is not listening to your intuition. So do be aware. And that could just mean that you're reflecting on that Six of Cups energy. and that you're losing some of your power to manifest and materialize what you truly want in your feminine if you are reflecting a little bit too much on the past. The other thing about this Six of Cups is that it's childhood, right? It's childlike, it's nostalgic, okay? So even if it's not a certain person you're looking back on, but you're looking back on, you know, the when life used to be easier, before there was baggage, before you were responsible for, you know, paying all of the bills, that type of thing. This is that energy that's going to keep you stuck because you're not in your power. You're going back to wishing for things the way that they once were, and they are not there anymore. We have the Sun card. Leo energy came out in the reverse. So again, the Sun card is reminding us to feel our worth, and the feminine is really working on building that back up. And I think that what she's been doing, feminine, if you are keeping your head down and really working on building your spirituality, building, you know, a new health routine, building your legacy, really those are the things that are building you, and that's going to build your confidence. I think right now you're just battling between the back and forth of it all. That could be this Dancer card, you know, the two things that you're battling is, you know, your ability and your nostalgic, the feeling of not wanting to do it. Maybe you don't want to take responsibility for it. Now let's talk about this card that brings you together, the Hierophant. Came out in the reverse. This came out in the reverse for, I think, the Gemini reading as well. This is Taurus energy. It could be Taurus time, which is where we are right now. But when it's in the reverse, it's telling me that it's non-traditional. It's something that's different. It's this extraordinary uniqueness. So any type of relationship where you find each other, okay? Again, we talked about this. If you're finding each other through anxiety and through nervousness, through being picked on, if you're being picked on equally, this is an interestingly non-traditional way of bonding, okay? It's not trauma bonding. I've talked about that in the past, but this is a different way of bonding. And it's interesting to me because it might be a similar energy that you both have. Maybe the feminine is nervous and anxious because of being able to build a life for herself, build a legacy for herself, and the masculine is nervous and anxious because he's worried about being able to build the emotional availability and intelligence for himself, having that relationship that he wants. So whatever it is, this is going to be a non-traditional way that you come together. I like this card in the reverse, even though, you know, it's not talking about tradition in the formal sense. This is like Uranus, okay? Uranus is in Taurus even right now. So this is and this could happen in the next 7 years. Crazy, even though I'm talking about this in May. I say that because that's how long Uranus will be in Taurus. But this is the fire, the electricity, the craziness that is contrary to what we have known the stable, secure, traditional foundation of what Taurus would be or what the Hierophant would be. So definitely something different, but the masculine is got to release his ex, release this pain that was there, this trespass that happened. The feminine working out, and I see that you're not far from this. I think that the feminine really is doing this, like enjoying the extraordinary uniqueness and getting closer to consciousness. Again, we talked about this is a sacrificing relationship to do so. Just make sure, feminine, that you are not stuck in the past, feeling nostalgic and not necessarily moving into your power in the future. All right, so that's what I have for you, Aries. This is a really fascinating reading. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments section and hit that thumbs up button for me. I'll send you all my love. I'll see you guys next time.